We begin this part of the program with a live shot of the police minister Bheki arriving in the area where a group of German tourists was in fact attacked at the beginning of this week. One of them killed. The suspicion at this point is that it was a botched hijacking. The minister is going to be joined by the National Commissioner General Fani, Masemola. They're also expected to speak with the surviving tourists who were caught up in this ordeal at the beginning of this week. They were driving to a lodge in the area when their vehicle is said to have been stopped, and then there was a demand made by the attackers for them to open the vehicle, and then that is when the shooting ensued. Mweli Masilela is our reporter on the story, and Mweli, just as I was saying, while we look at these pictures of the police minister arriving, let's go back as we did earlier and talk about what we are told happened on Monday night in White River.
Yes, indeed, the police minister, General Bheki, has arrived. I can see that he is being accompanied by the MEC for Community Safety, Security and Liaison in the province, Vosishongwe. I can also see the Provincial Police Commissioner, that is Lieutenant General Semakaleng Manamela. They are right at the scene of where the incident happened on Monday. This happened in broad daylight, Tembegile, and that is the biggest concern, especially from some of the community members that we have spoken to say that it seems as these criminals have got a license to operate or to do whatever happened on Monday, and that's why then they are calling on the police to at least increase visibility in this area, and also even if there is private security to assist, because this wasn't happening for the first time. It's something that has been happening at least about 4 times already this year, at least from one of the community members that we spoke to. What we know is that the 4 German tourists were traveling using the Numbi Road to the Kruger National Park, even though it's not clear as to how many days they were going to spend that side. That's when then they were attacked here. And another concern, Tambegile, that you must note is that there are speed humps on this road, mainly because they are trying to avoid a situation whereby vehicles bump into members of the community as well as learners, because we know that there is a private school along this road. So some community members are saying that these speed humps should actually be removed, because the criminals are taking advantage. As soon as the tourists slow down for those speed humps, that's when the criminals pounce on them. So that's another issue that community members are asking authorities, especially the municipality as well as the police, to actually come together and see if there's nothing that can be done to ensure that those speed humps are removed, considering what has happened here several times.
Pardon me, if this is such a notorious stretch of road, what has been done to ensure the safety of not just tourists, but locals as well who drive there regularly?
Well, when we spoke to some community members, Tambegile, some are suggesting that actually this gate, Numbi Gate, which leads to the Kruger National Park, should be closed completely, considering the damage that has already been caused in this part of Mpumalanga. But some are saying that closing the gate won't even help, because there is a lot of community members that rely on some of the lodges that are operating here for jobs. Some people are working even inside the Kruger National Park. So if this gate is closed, there are many people who are going to lose their jobs. There are many businesses that are going to be affected at Mbegile. So that's the current situation on the ground. So there's those different views. But let me just try and bring in Ubaba Andrew Koza. He's been one person who has been talking to us for quite several times about what transpired here. I just want to get his sense of what is happening now here. Because thanks for always talking to us. The minister is here now. If you can tell us about your expectations, because you are one of the people who has been vocal about the situation here, and we are one of the people who saw what actually happened on Monday.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think now we must bring a solution, because this thing, it has been long. I'm expecting him maybe to talk about the beefing up the police, the visibility of the police on this road. I'm expecting him to talk about those places, especially those bushes which are behind me. Maybe they can give it to people so that they can reside there. I'm also expecting him maybe to talk about the issue of those harms that are many here. Because even if they remove them, community will put them. I'm expecting him to talk about that. I'm expecting a solution today.
For a person who hasn't actually got the information of what happened on Monday, as one person who saw what happened, can you just explain what you saw?
Yeah, what I saw is that, firstly, I heard a gunshot while I was seated at the gate. Then from there, with those guys, we went out to see what was happening because the gunshot was just outside the gate. Then when we look at the gate, we saw a Hyundai reversing. Someone inside the Hyundai was screaming, saying that don't kill my husband, don't kill us, something like that. And when I look at my right-hand side, that's when I saw that Bheki. So that Bheki, when they saw us, because they were outside, two guys, they get inside the car, then they left. Then at the same time, that Hyundai, it's like the driver failed to lost the control, then he hit the wall. Then when we checked there, already the man was dead.
I spoke to some community members. Some are suggesting that this Nombi gate should be completely closed. Some are saying that will affect community members because some are working inside the Kruger National Park and some of the lodges that are operating around the area. What is your take about that?
No, the gate must not be closed. I think this thing we can, I mean, the police and the security personnel, they can fix it. Because once we close the gate, some are getting bread from that gate. So I won't agree with those that are saying that the gate must be closed. What we need to do, they must put the cameras as they promised. There must be the visibility of the police officers on the road and the security officers on the road. I think once we can do that, and the community must also cooperate. When they know that this one is doing 1, 2, 3, we need to speak up and say, this is the person that is doing 1, 2, 3. I think if we can communicate and work with the police, we can solve this.
All right, thank you very much for talking to us, Tembegile. That's Andrew Koza. He's one of the people who saw what actually happened on Monday. The Police Minister Bheki Cele is still being briefed in terms of what actually happened. He is actually now speaking to the Provincial Police Commissioner, Lieutenant General Semakale Manamela. We're hoping that after this conversation they are having, we will be in a position to be briefed about what is going to be the way forward.
We'll catch up with you then, Mweli Masilela. For now, thank you very much for that update.